Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Hope you guys are having a great Saturday so far as the cold air is moving through and this system's starting to wrap up across the Northeast and the Eastern U.S. in general. I hope you guys have enjoyed the snow. Thankfully, like I mentioned in the video this morning, the severe weather really didn't pan out the way it could have panned out. So we're all definitely grateful for that because it could have been bad across the southern sections of Georgia and then areas of the panhandle of Florida. So thankfully that did not pan out at all. But really in this video, we're going to go over how cold it can potentially be tonight because for some folks, it could be the coldest morning tomorrow morning of the winter. Just for some folks, a lot of people had a lot of cold air back in January. But we're going to talk about how cold it can get. And then we're going to take a look ahead and really start breaking down just briefly what could potentially happen as we get into next work week, as I do see a cutoff low that could produce maybe some severe weather for certain parts of the country. So if you guys have not subscribed, definitely consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And I appreciate all the amazing support of really the last 7 days. I've had a lot of big time growth and I really appreciate all the amazing support. Hit me up on social media. We'd like to have a lot of fun on there and I like to interact with everybody. And if you guys got anything I can pray about, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it. Gives others an opportunity to do so too. So let's check out what is going on right now. This is actually the satellite loop across portions of the Deep South and Mid-South. This includes most of Tennessee, Arkansas, and northern Louisiana. And you see the moving white right here. That is clouds, right? This is actually the cold front right into here with these clouds moving mainly southwest to northeast. That is the cold front. Actually, the cold front's moved way off here. My bad. That is not the cold front. That is just some lingering clouds. Sorry, I got my directional mixed up there a little bit. But you see the finger clouds kind of moving through from the northwest to the southeast. This white that's kind of fading away right into here, that is the snow cover. It's starting to melt away. It doesn't matter how cold it is, and most of you are below freezing in this area. When you have that high mid-March sun angle, it's going to melt the snow regardless. It doesn't matter if it's 25 degrees outside, that snow is going to start to melt due to that high sun angle. But, you know, you can really start to see it fade away in March. Spring is going to return in a couple of days, but this was a pretty intense storm for a lot of folks. And in fact, you know, the National Weather Service in Memphis actually have dropped some snowfall accumulations that have occurred over the last 24 hours. They've already put a map together. Memphis was a big surprise to me. You know, at first I thought maybe they could get 2 to 3 inches of snow, but that band that moved through yesterday evening for areas like Memphis and southwest Tennessee gave y'all 4 to 5. Some areas got 6 inches of snow. I mean, certain areas in Mississippi got almost 6 inches of snow. That is crazy for mid-March standards. And then you got accumulating snow in northern Mississippi. These are actually verified totals, guys. So, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see where that band really set up with. But, you know, certain areas got kind of gypped. You know, you see the bright white colors. Those are areas where they either really don't have enough snowfall totals that really came in some reports, or that area just kind of got jumped, and certain areas certainly did. We switch over to Nashville. They got a map together already too, and Nashville got widespread 2 to 4, maybe 5-inch snowfall totals. You know, the areas of the plateau right in here, I thought maybe y'all could see more snow, but there's certain areas of eastern Tennessee that got a lot of snow too. In the map, they don't have a map in the National Weather Service in the Knoxville area and places like that in eastern Tennessee right now, so I can't show you guys that. But like we all thought, widespread snowfall accumulations across Tennessee. That's the only area basically these two are the only National Weather Services that I could find snowfall reports on so far. But there's still action going on right now. In fact, there's snow that's actually drifting into North Carolina. It's not really a big deal. A little bit of grapple, which is kind of a sleet-snow combination, if you will. It kind of looks like snow, but it's more white. It kind of looks like sleet, but it's kind of white like snow and more of a circular formation. But, you know, you got reports of snow, some sleet in Raleigh. Greensboro was seeing some snow a little earlier. And, you know, snow falling in Roxborough, Danville, and then snow in Richmond. And I think you guys will see some snow a little bit later around Norfolk and places like that. There we go, having to say that word again. But Elizabeth City, I think you guys will see some snow a little bit later this evening. And I think some snow will fall basically in general in southeast Virginia and northeast North Carolina for sure. So, you know, it's not quite over. It's wrapping up. And, of course, we'll show you guys the latest HRRR model about what is going on. We'll just have to get a little bit forward in time. This is around for 3 p.m., which is about an hour and a half Eastern Standard Time from the moment I'm making this video. We'll have to see what happens here. It's trying to throw my area some love down here with some lake effect snow off Lake Murray. That's a little ridiculous. That's probably not going to happen. But check out the snow still falling in Delmarva area. There'll be some wraparound snow still in southeast Virginia, and this will continue. And I think it'll be a snowy evening somewhat for Boston and areas of southern New England, but I don't think it's going to put down a whole lot of snow. But then maybe some leftover kind of northwest flow event maybe for the mountains that you maybe not be able to see. I think the snow will continue to fall overnight for some portions of the mountains of North Carolina and Virginia in areas. But going forward here, if y'all hear my kids in the background, it is the middle of the day. It's probably not the best time to make a video, but they're just in the living room having fun like any kid would on a Saturday afternoon. But here you go, potential low temperatures tonight. This is going to be brutal. I really worry about northern Florida for the farms, the crops, anybody planting anything. This could cause damage. Just hope that it doesn't verify this low, but North Florida, well below 30 degrees is being forecast. The entire panhandle of Florida, well into the 20s. And then the low 20s for the central South Carolina, the entire state of Georgia, deep into the 20s. Probably northern sections of Georgia will probably get into the teens. But, look in the area where the heaviest snow fell. You're talking lower teens, pushing single digits in these areas. And I really think you'll see some single digits, potentially maybe in the plateau of Tennessee, eastern Kentucky, certain sections of West Virginia, and then West Virginia in general. It's going to be a very cold night. But luckily, there's only really going to be one very, very cold night, and it's going to be tonight. And then we begin to moderate very quickly, like we always do in mid-March. This is not going to stay around, but it's going to be a cold night. I mean, you look all the way down here in Florida, you're going to get into the 30s and 40s deep into the peninsula of Florida. Very cold night. Find where you are. Look at that number. 23, for example, in Columbia. 21 in Charlotte. In the teens in Washington, D.C. Very, very cold. 12 degrees in Asheville. In the teens in Nashville. So very, very cold night in store. And, when you compare this to average, this is anywhere from 15 to 20 to 25 degrees below average for a Sunday morning, a March 13th Sunday morning. So this is very, very cold compared to average. And obviously you can tell it's not as bad out here. It's because the axis of cold air is really beginning to shift to the east. So therefore, in general, the trough is moving to the east. So therefore, you're starting to moderate already out here to the west. But compared to average, it's going to be a cold, cold southeast night. In fact, it's already cold this afternoon. Very cold in certain areas that won't rebound above freezing a day. If you look at the GFS, it really wants to drop the hammer as far as this Arctic air. Single digits widespread showing up in West Virginia, eastern Kentucky, western Virginia, eastern Tennessee, and then the mountains of North Carolina and Tennessee. Even some single digits sneaking into far northwest Georgia. So it's going to be cold. GFS really wants to hit these areas that have snow cover really hard here. And then we keep going here. This is what we're watching as far as the system coming up next week. Watch this area right here as we're getting going through in time. This is what we call an upper level low or a cutoff low. I like calling it a cutoff low because that's exactly what it looks like. It's basically a low pressure that gets cut off from the main flow. The jet's starting to position itself way up here in Canada almost. This little low pressure gets trapped in the flow. It gets lost in this ridge. Ridging actually builds on top of it. And what these little cutoff lows can do right here, which is like a low pressure, think of it as as we're getting into early next week, getting into midweek, and then we're getting into the latter part of the week, it starts to get off the coast here. But what these little cutoff lows can do is they can bring all kinds of weather. They can bring flooding. They can bring isolated areas of below average temperatures, depending on if you're right in the influence of the upper level low. They can bring episodes of severe weather. They can even bring winter weather. They can bring all kinds of weather. It really just depends on what time of the year it is. And when you're in March and you get a cutoff low like this, typically you're going to have some heavy rain issues and you're probably going to have some severe weather potential. So that's why you have that severe weather potential. And one reason what this upper level low does is you watch this. These are dew points. These aren't temperatures. These are dew points. We're getting into Monday, right? Monday morning, Monday afternoon, Monday evening, getting into Tuesday morning. The upper level low is digging down into here. And, you look at this compared to this time frame, the upper level low is in here, right? Well, you look at the same time frame where the dew points is. What this upper level low does is it pulls that warm, moist air out of the Gulf of Mexico. Therefore, it's going to create what you call a moist sector. So you got dew points rising into the 50s and 60s, and this rises into the deep south, maybe even mid-south. But you notice it's not a big moisture return. It's just a little bit, but it's enough to prompt a little bit of low-level moisture. It's probably going to be a small low-level jet, and you got to watch to see if convective energy can build. But we'll have to see how this works. Yeah, I think some moisture returns into the deep south next week in response to this low-level jet, basically pulling that moisture out the Gulf. And we'll have to watch for severe weather going forward. And the National Weather Service is showing that. This is from Monday morning into your Tuesday morning. So this coming Monday, already a slight risk up. This includes Dallas, Texas, Shreveport, Louisiana, and basically the entire northeast areas of Texas. So there's already a risk area for day 3 for severe weather. So we have to watch to see how this unfolds. And then for your day 4, which is really your entire day Tuesday, you have a 15% risk for the entire northern section and panhandle of Florida, and then very small areas of southern Georgia and southern Alabama. We'll have to see how this trends as we're getting into early this coming week. But severe weather is on the rise, as it always is in March. And that's about it. So that'll be our main topic coming up. But, we'll probably do our morning forecast starting tomorrow probably until we get a really good idea on what's going to happen with the severe weather. From what I'm seeing right now, I do not see enough thermodynamics or kinematics, which is the wind energy you need, to really make either one of these threats a really large severe weather threat. But we'll continue to watch and see how it unfolds. And if we can get another active or quiet week, it's not going to be nothing compared to this past week that we're moving past. So God bless everybody. Y'all have a great weekend. Continue to have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. And folks who love winter weather, continue to enjoy the snow. God bless.